So today I wanted to do a little talk. We don't talk enough, I think, and I would love to give you a chance to get to know me better a little bit so we can communicate a little bit better this way too. Please keep in mind some of the things that I'm going to tell you are from my past and no longer are in my present. We are all evolving as human beings, as adults, and we become better every day if we strive to be. So today we're going to talk about 5 things that you don't know about me. Some of them are going to be quite embarrassing for me. Some of them are going to be quite interesting for you. So let's do it. I was a bad student in school. I was barely a C student. That's right. So from my childhood, I was very bad with math and physics and chemistry and history. I now know that I probably had really bad ADD in school. I could not concentrate. I could not follow anything that they were telling me. It was very difficult for me and I struggled a lot. But then I found out that English works very different for me because I take it in quite differently, and my teachers were teaching me in a very unique way. Thank God. My tutor, that was through my high school, my English tutor, she was wonderful, but she gave me a lot of work every day. I actually had less homework from school than I had from my English classes outside, because I was trying to get into a quite high quality university, if that makes sense. So English was at the top for me. And I used to do my homework, English homework, for my tutor during my school. So I would do it during math and physics since I couldn't understand anything anyway. So my math teacher, God bless her soul, she was a wonderful woman to me. So we had an arrangement with her because she saw how passionate I was about English. She came up to me one time and saw that I was doing homework in English. She asked me to speak English a little bit to her, and I did. She got excited and she said, you know what, if your passion is not in math, I promise you I will give you a C as long as you listen to me at least from time to time. But you can do your homework right there, right in the math class, and I would never stop you because I see that you have passion. Make sure you get into that university. So that was my ticket out of math. Because I was so bad in algebra and stuff like that, I literally just did not follow. I'm sorry, I did not. So she was my angel. She pushed me through math this way, and that's why I'm stupid in math now. Because I just didn't have time for math. I'm sorry. And that's the system that it is today. So if you're a bad student, it doesn't mean that you're stupid or that you're not good enough. Sometimes you can make something else out of yourself when you grow up, and school might not be just your thing, that's it. But still, I would encourage everyone to try their best and not slack. Because at the end of the day, it still is your book, it's your card, it's your resume. This is how you get further in life, so just be wary of that, okay? I used to work in a pawn shop. The first year of my previous marriage, I worked in a pawn shop because my ex-husband was a pawn shop owner. And there was quite developing years for me because I was about 22, almost 22 when I worked there. And I definitely fit the criteria of started from the bottom, and now we're getting somewhere else. I have definitely lived through different stages of my life to be shown the different living situation in society. And I learned how to love and be happy, partially happy, in each and every one of them, and just to see how life is without judgment. I think he also gave me a way to have a lot of compassion, and I'm not trying to like brag myself up in here. I'm just legit, I realize it. So most of my customers, and I used to run it a lot because I was quite good at it, surprisingly. Yep, punch up. It was in downtown Baltimore, in downtown older part of Baltimore City. It was quite a bad area. Bad area meaning a lot of murders, a lot of thieves, rapes, stuff like that happening there. That of course should not be taken lightly, but that was my reality, and I used to work there. They used to call me Hollywood. And it was the most sweetest thing ever. And because I was just freshly from Russia, so all of my clothes was really posh and like really pretty, like high heels. I had fur and stuff like that, you know, rings and nails and everything. My hair is always done, makeup always done. And here I am in a pawn shop in like a really bad area, in a place that has like no air conditioning, people smoke inside. But I felt at home there too. And I loved all of my customers. I had some of the continuous customers, repeating customers. Unfortunately, I had to deal with a lot of people either from like drug dealing themes, so drug dealers or people on drugs themselves, or thieves. I do have to say each and every one of them had a personality, had a soul. I guess I just saw them differently back then because I was a part of it too, a part of the transaction. I guess it was just a part of business, and I had to learn it this way, this harsh way. Just kind of dipped my first years in America right into this type of business world. Or the other type of people that would come in often were people on the brink who were either newly on drugs and just selling everything they have, or people who are just running out of money and they're trying to either pawn things for money or sell them for money. And it was hard to see, but again, I was taught by management, by my ex-husband, to be tough. That this is a business, their money is our money. So if you don't manipulate, if you don't lower the price, if you don't make them question everything, you don't get a higher pay. Because it was a part of a family business in a way, I had to fit that profile. So now I'm questioning some of the things that happened to me after that with my dad and stuff. I would not be surprised if it's partially the karma playing up on me, and again, I take full responsibility for everything. I acknowledge everything. I know some of the things that I was doing was wrong, but in that situation I was 20 years old and I was learning a business. That's all. Also, I learned how to shoot there, shoot a gun, shoot a shotgun, shoot a rifle. And we did it quite often, right inside the store. We had different targets there on the wall and we would just shoot from time to time, and I actually have become to be quite good, have quite an eye for shooting. So, you know, just don't mess around, we have to say. That's also when I learned the value, the true value I should say, of gold, silver, and gemstones. I guess it's one of those things, once you have been on the other side of the industry, you are not being fooled ever again into the scheme. So that's why I did tell Daryl before that if he ever was to propose to me, I didn't say it like this, but I just told him out loud that I do not want a gold ring with a diamond. I want a silver ring. And that's what I got, a silver ring with a gemstone that doesn't cost a fortune. And that was, again, something that I'm looking forward to. I guess because I saw how the industry again cranked up the price for something that was not even close to what it should have been. I saw the value of buying and selling gold and diamonds and different other stones. And again, it taught me more than you can think of. I know how to test the gold. I know how to test it between the different types, the different carats of diamonds and stuff like that. So it was very interesting because I got to learn a lot. It was awesome in that sense. That's why I never wear gold. I got again to meet a lot of really cool people in the pawn shop though. Again, some of them were not good people outside the pawn shop, but to me they were quite nice and quite sweet. And again, being called Hollywood was very nice too, because I probably again seemed like I did not belong there. So that was fun. I used to smoke. I smoked for many years, since I was 14 until I was about 22 or 23. And I was a chain smoker. I smoked a lot. I smoked at least a pack a day. If I would go out or drink, I would probably smoke another pack just in that evening. I'm not proud of it now, and the only reason I'm telling you this right now, actually openly, because this summer when I was in Russia, my mom told me that she knew all along that I was smoking, and she did not tell me one time. She did not want me to come out and tell her that I was smoking and do it in front of her, God forbid. But I swear to God, I thought I had her fooled all this time. I used to hide my cigarettes like in my purse, but not just inside the purse. I would make a slight incision in the inner layer, like the sleeve that goes inside the purse. I would make an incision just big enough to fit the cigarettes in there. So when you actually look in the purse, there is no cigarettes, but you have to like dig in and find them. They're like on the bottom. I thought it was the most brilliant way to hide cigarettes. I used to love smoking. Man, I used to like really enjoy it. I was also a very offensive smoker, so if you tell me like it's not good for you to smoke and stuff like that, I will like really F you up. I'm like, go F yourself. I was a badass. I'm still a badass, you just don't know me. So I quit smoking actually quite fast. It was cold turkey, and it was around 2009. A lot of things happened around 2009, I'll be honest. It was basically my life-changing year, I can tell. That's my stepping stone into the next level of adulting. The way I did it, actually, I always tell everyone to do it the same way. I didn't use patches or gum or anything. So a month before I decided to quit, I hung everywhere lists of things that will be best if I quit smoking. So like I would smell great all the time. I would not smell like smoke anymore. I was so tired of it. Then my breath would be better. I would be able to exercise more. I'll be able to have healthy babies. I will, like my skin will be better and stuff like that. I don't remember exactly what, but I wrote everything that was very important to me. I'll have more free money, more free time, all that kind of stuff. And I hung them everywhere, and I mean everywhere. I put it in the fridge, on the wall with my makeup, in front of the toilet, in my office. Now, in front of the toilet trick is just for everything. I swear to God, it works like magic. It's like law of attraction works once you're on the toilet. So if you hang any kind of your manifestations or goals right in front of you, and just every time you sit in the bathroom, I mean, there's nowhere else to look unless you bring your phone, of course. But you literally, all you get to do is just read this one thing that you put it right there, right in front of your eyes. So I suggest to everyone, hang in front of your toilet anything that you want to do, and you will do it. It'll be like hypnosis. The more you tell it to yourself, the more you read it out loud or just to yourself, you will notice that it actually happens. Okay? Then I did a ritual. My last cigarette, I didn't even smoke the whole thing. I was just so grossed out by it at that point because I watched so many documentaries about smoking. I would like plump myself up with all the crap that actually comes from smoking, and just did a big hit on my system and my subconsciousness with it, just to quit it. Then I put everything in the bin and I took it in the trash and I just tossed everything, no looking back. And I have not smoked one time since then, not one time. I had cravings the first maybe week, but again, just the smell of smoking and everything, it just made me hate it even more a little bit. If you decide to quit yourself, that's the only way to quit. That's it. If somebody tells you to quit, you will never quit. It will not happen. It doesn't happen like that. And again, I know by myself. Okay, so I rambled a lot about this one, but I truly believe in that. And I still used to go outside with everyone while they were smoking. I would bring pieces of carrots, like baby carrots, and I would munch on them while everybody's smoking. And every time I wanted to smoke, I would either have like the seeds, like sunflower seeds, because they had a little bit of the smokiness taste to it too, or I would have coffee or carrots, so something to keep me busy and kind of replace the ritual with something else. So that was nice. Okay, so don't judge me, please. I don't smoke anymore. I didn't smoke for, well, almost 10 years now, at least 9. Okay. When I first came to United States, I was average weight, but I gained a lot. And at my heaviest weight, I was 215 pounds. I'm 5'10", so I'm somewhat a taller girl, so I guess it was a little bit more proportionate than you might think, but it was a lot of weight on me. Throughout my life, I've been average size, pretty much just like I am right now, maybe plus minus, you know, it fluctuates here and there, but I was never skinny, never slim, fit girl, never, not even school. I feel like it just doesn't come with my body. I'm always gonna be curvy, and I always have little lumps and bumps everywhere, and that's just who I am, and I feel okay about it. I do my best to, you know, keep the weight good, and usually my weight right now good is like about 160 is when I feel the best. So if I gain 5-10 pounds, it's kind of bad. I try to scale back to 160 again. So 160 is my perfect weight, and that's how I have lost a little bit less than a bit under it too, but I felt almost too much for me, you know. So I was trying to be healthy, not skinny. So so overall, you can see that I lost, well, about 50 pounds on average, roughly. And I was so proud of myself. My journey started in 2009, just after probably I quit smoking, actually. And that's when I had my depression kicked in, and my worst time was in 2009. I remember for a few years it was just such a torture for me to be alive. At that point, I mean, girl, I was a wreck. I was so bad. Nothing would calm me down, just everything was wrong, and it was as if again my eyes have opened and I could not unsee my life anymore, and I was just struggling so much. I felt closed off and in a cage. I felt like I was big and ugly, and I didn't have a car then. I quit smoking, so it helped me a little bit with health, but still, again, it left me with even more anxiety and more angry even in a way. So but that's also at the end of the year though, after I went through all the struggles, started losing weight, found my peace a little bit. I found ASMR community at the end of 2009, like very early 2010, like winter time. And then in 2011, 2 years later basically, since I started losing, is when I started my channel. So if you thought that I was heavy in my first videos, you should have seen me a couple of years before then. I was much bigger. I started my journey with Weight Watchers, so the first, I think, 10 to 20 pounds I lost actually with Weight Watchers, and I enjoyed it a lot. This community feel, I really liked it. But then again, it was too expensive for me to go to Weight Watchers. I figured out how to lose weight on my own already, so I just kind of continued throughout it. And I did a lot of Zumba, I remember. I did Zumba almost daily. I didn't eat anything. It was not a good way, but I have learned how to adjust through life. And I think that's the best way to go to, is just to slowly build up and slowly lose weight. Because I see people sometimes losing like 50 pounds in like 4 months, and I'm like, that's a little too much. Like, don't do that, that's not good. First of all, again, it shrinks you down to the point where your skin does not bounce back. So you become wrinkly and you get sagging skin, that's not good. I was losing, again, I lost my 50 pounds within, again, 2 years. So very slowly. And I was kind of reshaping at the same time, so I was quite proud of me. Okay. I didn't get my driver's license until I was about 23, 24. And that was actually probably around the same time that I quit smoking and that I lost weight, was losing weight. I got quite tired of being so dependent on my ex-husband, and I demanded that I get a license so I could be more independent. And I have to say, when I when I got my driver's license, that's when I got my life. In America, you have to have driver's license, otherwise you just sit at home all day long. That's it. Or you sit at work and wait for someone to pick you up. It was very, very bad for me before. Again, I felt very caged and very limited and just very bad. So once I got my license, oh God, there was no stopping me. I was just flying around. I was just driving. I had the worst car ever. It was 11 years old. It was a Honda Accord, and it had like 300,000 miles on it, and like the belt was all washed off, and the AC didn't work, and one of the driver's windows would not go down or up. But I was so happy. I remember I would just sit in the car and I would just take off, and I would just go anywhere at any time. Anywhere I wanted to go, I could go. I could go to the woods. I didn't have to wait for anyone to take me to the park and then just yell at me and be annoying continuously about shit. So that gave me so much freedom. I could just go for walks by myself. I could go to my Weight Watchers meeting. I could go to the gym by myself, because I used to just walk there, and it was like a couple miles back and forth. So it was very, very heartwarming time for me, I remember. And I still like to use driving as a getaway. I like to just leave. Okay. All right. It's a very hot day. We have to keep it low here. It's 108 today, and the TV people told us to keep the air conditioning down, so it's like 78, 79 inside, and it's a little hot still. Okay, so thank you so much for listening. I hope it was interesting. I sure enjoy talking to you and sharing with you. I know I'm gonna get hit with some judgment, and I don't care, because I'm ready. And I know what I did, I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going, I know who I am, so that's why I'm sharing, because it doesn't matter anymore. My past is my past, lessons learned, moving on. Okay, now just the future and taking responsibility of your actions and your life every day, all the time. Okay, all right.